Hi, Jim. My name is Anders. I understand you recently did an interview for the ABB Factories of the Future podcast, sharing your insight on the future of manufacturing and robotics. I learned that you taped your end of the conversation in your virtual broadcast studio, and so my plan is to interview you about what you covered. I'm presuming that's okay. So with that in mind, what's the biggest trend that you've seen happening with the use of robotics in manufacturing?
I think it's the fact that they've come out of the cage. I think for a long time, robotics has been something, we've had to be very wary of them, very careful of them, a lot of safety concerns. But the acceleration and the methodology and the sophistication of these robotic technologies in the factory is such that they can work alongside humans and we can develop new process, new methodologies, do new things that weren't possible before. I think that's one of the most fascinating things that is underway today.
Going through your site, it looks like you spend a lot of time helping executives understand the sort of big picture trends that are reshaping industries. What would you say to today's manufacturing executive who spends time thinking about the future?
I spend a lot of time on a lot of stages speaking at manufacturing conferences, and a phrase that I've always used that we're now in a situation in which change is happening so fast that we have companies that do not yet exist, will build products not yet conceived, using materials not yet invented with methodologies not yet in existence. And robotics plays a huge role in that when it comes to the methodologies that we might use. I'm seeing organizations who are realizing we have to invent new products faster. Product life cycles are collapsing. We need to bring product to market faster. And to do that, we need to challenge ourselves in terms of our agility, our flexibility, our capability to change our process faster. And robotics, the ability for fast setup time, the ability to do that, the ability to streamline process is such a key part of that new world of manufacturing.
Fair enough. So if that is the case, what gets you excited about the future of manufacturing?
Just before COVID, I was in Marrakesh, Morocco, speaking for the World Bank at the International Finance Corporation Manufacturing Conference. And the topic was manufacturing in third world economies. And there's a phrase I used on stage that some executives now believe we're in a situation in which we should be able to manufacture any product and get it anywhere on the planet within 24 hours as a result of fast manufacturing cycles and global logistics. That provides such a massive opportunity for manufacturing organizations anywhere in the world, including third world economies. There's such tremendous potential today in terms of what we can do with speed, agility, global logistics, fast manufacturing, fast product reinvention that is probably one of the most exciting times in the world of manufacturing ever.
What about manufacturing process? Reading some of your material, you seem to speak quite a bit about what you call methodology modification. How, in every industry, one of the most significant unseen trends is that we are simply changing the essence of how we have always done things. Tell us about that.
There's a process of what I call iterative design. It used to be we would have to commit to a product design. We would have to put in place the process and methodology, and we would pump out 1 million products that were all the same. But with iterative design, I think what we're discovering is we can conceive the product. We can do rapid product conception using 3D printing and digital twin technology. We can now conceive it, we can commit to a manufacturing run, and then if we get some customer feedback or we get some other insight into how well the product is working, we can change the design. We can make it something that is iterative where the design process keeps building upon itself. We keep redesigning it and we keep redesigning the product as a result of that. So digital twin technology, 3D printing, fast setup, agility, flexibility, advanced robotics, all those things are coming together to permit us to do that type of thing.
So is that really all about agile in manufacturing? Isn't that the key thing that people need to be thinking about?
Agile in manufacturing, I think, as with the manufacturing executives I've spoken to at the manufacturing conferences that I've opened, it has become the key word, and it goes to the heart of what is happening with the products that we bring to the workplace today. I mean, I remember the product life cycle from my marketing textbook of about 40 years ago. A product would come to market, it would achieve market maturity, and then sales would begin to drop off. And I think it was for something like a fridge, and the time cycle was 25 years. I mean, products today don't last 25 years. Product life cycles are absolutely collapsing. When it comes to the automotive sector, I like to point out the typical car dashboard is obsolete within a year because the car dashboard is essentially becoming a computer. And what's happening in automotive is the product life cycle is approaching that of your typical iPhone. We need to redesign faster. We need to be more flexible. We need to be more agile. We need to be able to reinvent our world faster than ever before. And that's why the word agile is becoming so critical in the world of manufacturing.
What do you think is the biggest trend we now need to watch in the world of manufacturing, if you were to put your 10-year horizon hat on?
It has to be the next generation manufacturing engineer coming into the workplace. Look, I was with one manufacturing company in St. Louis, and it was an old foundry, traditional 150-year-old manufacturing concepts. But they took me into what they called the Xbox room, and in the Xbox room were three young manufacturing engineers, 25 years old, with a whole bunch of gear: 3D printing technology, digital twin technology, heads-up display technology. And in essence, what this organization was saying, look, we understand the digitization of the factory is critical. We understand the industrial Internet of Things is going to be critical. We understand we have to master 3D printing technology. We don't understand it. We don't have the insight. But here's a budget. Here's some money. Go and play. Figure it out. And these young engineers, they called it the Xbox room. And it was their manufacturing laboratory to take them into the next generation of manufacturing. Not a month later, I was with a trucking company, and they had what they called the Google room. And it was four young trucking individuals with a lot of gear, a lot of money, a lot of toys that they called the Google room. And they were figuring out, the next generation of supply chain in trucking. The typical truck today contains more technology than a Cessna airplane. And that's what these young individuals are doing. So I think it is this next generation engineer and individual coming onto the manufacturing team that is going to change everything.
So why will this next generation change everything?
Yeah, I think the key thing is this next generation, they're digital, they're wired, they're collaborative. They don't know a world without technology, and they are a force to be reckoned with. Half the global population right now is under the age of 25. And as they take over senior executive positions, as they come to design the factory of the future, as they come to look at robotics, as they look at how do we change process to be more agile. If we thought the world was fast before, it's just simply going to become crazy fast as they become more involved over time.
How do we get the next generation interested in a career as a manufacturing engineer?
I think we have to, if I can use the phrase, make manufacturing sexy again. I think we have to get across to that next generation that there is tremendous potential, there's tremendous excitement, there's a tremendous opportunity. And one of the ways I've seen that is with the Global World Skills organization. World Skills is a global initiative that operates on a country-by-country basis to encourage young people to get involved in traditional skills and careers and opportunities. And I opened the World Skills competition in Sao Paulo, Brazil, a number of years ago. And in that event, we had teams from 110 countries around the world competing in areas like 3D printing and woodworking and other kinds of advanced digital skills. And when you look at the fact that on the factory, on the show floor there at that competition, I was using a virtual welding headset operating a welding machine 3,000 miles away, using some sort of heads-up display. That's where we can get the next generation excited about the opportunity in the world of manufacturing because it speaks to their heart. It speaks to the fact that they are digital. It speaks to the fact that they have advanced ideas on how we can shape our world. If we make manufacturing exciting again, that's the first step to accelerating what we can do with an investment in skills and education.
What's your take on the skills issue? We hear so much that manufacturing jobs are disappearing. And then we hear that companies can't hire enough workers. What's really going on?
What's disappearing is a lot of the unsophisticated routine jobs and process that defined manufacturing in the past. What is appearing is a need and a demand for highly specialized skills that can deal with this new world of digitization. Look, I often repeat the phrase that one manufacturing organization said to me that we don't have a shortage of manufacturing jobs throughout the world. What we do have is a shortage of manufacturing skills. And they explain that from their perspective, it's almost as if the typical machinist today has to be able to do trigonometry in their heads because the sophistication of the process has become so complex. So it's the disappearance of the routine traditional jobs, and it's the appearance of new, very sophisticated, highly advanced, highly skilled work that is taking the place. And where we are failing is that we aren't doing enough to train those people. We aren't doing enough at the community college or university level to ensure that we have those skills. We aren't doing enough to ensure that we've got an innovation mindset within our factory to ensure that we're taking advantage of some of those skills when they come in the door. So there is a very fundamental and transformative shift occurring in the world of manufacturing today.
So what do we do about this? What should companies be doing?
Yeah, it's retraining, it's acknowledging the issue, it's understanding that the path to the future is not necessarily easy. It does take a significant investment. And the CEOs of manufacturing organizations that I deal with, I think by and large have come to recognize that. They know they have a skill shortage, and they know that they need to go at this from an industry perspective to solve that very basic skills challenge.
So why is the concept of agile important? Why do manufacturing executives need to think about the issue of speed? And how important is it? What are the key issues behind the idea that you always share that the future belongs to those who are fast?
I talk a lot about what I call the era of acceleration. That, when it comes to change, change has been happening somewhat slowly, but then I emphasize that what is happening right now is a whole bunch of trends are coming together all at once. Digital twin technology, robotics, artificial intelligence, advanced skills and capabilities, rapid prototyping. As all of these trends come together and morph and gel, we're entering what I call the era of acceleration. If we thought the world was changing quickly before, it's going to change even faster going forward into the future. If we combine that with a greater willingness and understanding that we need to be more agile, we need to be more flexible, we need to bring product to market faster, we need to design faster, we need to deal with the reality of the collapse of product life cycles and, a world in which everything is becoming digitized. You bring all that together, the world is going to speed up. And to me, as a futurist, the fact that the world happens faster means that opportunity happens faster. And so if we can align our organization with that agile and flexible mindset to take advantage of tomorrow, not view these trends as a threat, but to view them as an opportunity, that's where I find such tremendous potential and excitement with robotics and with AI and with everything having to do with manufacturing.
What other trends are you watching that are important to today's manufacturing executive?
I find one of the most fascinating trends emerging right now is what we're calling design for deconstruction. And that is the concept that we're not just going to design the product to get it to market, but we're going to design it with circular economy concepts such that we can deconstruct it for reuse of those component parts on the other end. And leading this is, the high-tech sector, organizations like Apple. When we design an iPhone, an iPad, a new Mac, we're not designing it just to bring it to market. We're designing it so we can eventually take it apart and reuse those materials. A lot of talk about that in the automotive sector as we finally get into the inevitability of the electric vehicle. In essence, cars that are big computers with big iPads on wheels that have a big battery, and we're designing for deconstruction so that we can disassemble and reutilize those battery components for the next generation electric vehicle. Tremendous opportunity there, tremendous excitement, and tremendous realization that we in the manufacturing sector have to be stewards for the economy for the environment with everything we do going forward.
That was all very, very helpful, Jim. Thanks for the interview. I just want to spend a moment to make sure that everyone watching knows that they can learn more about your manufacturing keynotes at the website, manufacturing.jimcarroll.com. Thank you. My name is Anders, and I am an AI avatar that was generated by Jim for purposes of this interview. To learn more, visit jimcarroll.ai.
Meet Jim Carroll, a global futurist advising leading global organizations on the trends that matter. Many of the world's most prestigious organizations have invited him to share his insight with their leadership teams. an expert on innovation, recognized for his unique approach to accelerating new ideas. A creativity champion, even Disney booked him for his insight into creativity. He has a reputation for customized insight. No two presentations are ever the same. With vast industry experience, he will help you understand the deep issues affecting your future. He's a virtual virtuoso for those organizations that are focused on fast knowledge delivery. And he has a sustained in-person, on-stage track record, having appeared at numerous significant global events. His global recognition means that he is represented and booked by many of the leading speakers' bureaus worldwide. He has a powerful stage presence, and he has a client-centric focus. It's your event, and he will work to customize to your requirements. He covers a vast range of disruptive topics, keeping his research engine tuned to today's most important trends. Learn more. Visit his site at jimcarroll.com. Contact him today. Accelerate your future. Do it now.